welcome to Wheel Takes, a podcast that is normally about the Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. But right now, we're talking about the Hunger Games. I'm Allie, and I've read all of the Hunger Games except for the prequel.
Which I'm not allowed to know exists, apparently, and I'm Gus. And I have read up through the second book, Catching Fire, through chapter 16. And the Hunger Games are by Suzanne Collins. Allie, how you doing? You seem sleepy.
I'm a little bit sleepy.
Yeah?
So if I'm doing some excessive yawning, I apologize.
Well, here, hold on. This is you waking up, getting out of bed. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, you're so energetic. I am really happy that I talked you into giving me 4 chapters.
Yeah?
Because, respectfully, yeah, I know you want to talk about all the tributes and stuff, all the winners. 3 chapters would have been pretty short.
It would have been pretty short. I agree. So I decided to be nice and give you 4 chapters. But you see why I was going to end it where I ended it, right?
Yeah.
You only give me usually 2 chapters.
Of Wheel of Time?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're much longer.
Well, that's true. But anyway, I thought I was very nice to you. Excuse me.
Oh, I agree. And I had a wonderful time. As wonderful of a time as you can have reading these books, which I love.
As wonderful a time as you can have reading these books that are out to torture you.
Truly just agony, start to finish.
Well, it could end up
In a good way. That's a compliment.
positively at some point.
Now, you'll be happy to note that after much haranguing of me online, I did take notes. But if you want to know where we left off with the President Snow making the biggest dumbass decision of the century.
I think we see that it was a really dumbass decision.
World's biggest dumbass competition, this dude. Easy win.
Pretty dumb.
All right, chapter 13. Yup, that's a hangover.
Yep.
It's a very good description of a hangover. You poor thing. Training montage, but make it depressing. It'd be better if he were easier to hate. Sue's subverting the love triangle while doing a backflip off a balcony. And then I wrote, oh, shut the fuck up, Gale.
For real.
And then I wrote, oh, okay, well, shit, I guess it's reaping day, so much for the training montage. The fastest I volunteer in the West.
So, yeah. So President Snow announced last chapter that they would be reaping from their pool of winners.
Yes, and she immediately runs around, understandably panics, gets drunk for the first time ever, doesn't keep a clear head at all. But you know who does keep a clear head?
Who?
The perfect, sweet, soft cinnamon roll himself. Somehow, why is this guy so good at things? It's to the point now where I'm like, how is this possible?
I don't care if he fits your sexual orientation. PETA is all of our husbands.
PETA is he's like, hey, you can't be doing that. You can't be going despair mode.
I guess he's only 16, but still.
Yeah, well, yes.
Once he's of legal age.
I got you through this shit last time. I'm getting you through this shit again.
Yeah.
And the first, if you want to look at the first 2 pages for some of the beautiful prose she writes, go off. But I just remember she and Haymitch are sitting there drinking, and then PETA comes in and he's like, hello, I'm dumping all of the alcohol.
Yeah.
Get good.
Yeah. So Katniss runs away, screams into her shirt, goes through the stages of grief 25 times.
Pretty much.
And she says, I have to admit I didn't see it coming. I saw a multitude of other things, being publicly humiliated, tortured, and executed, fleeing through the wilderness pursued by peacekeepers and hovercraft, marriage to PETA with our children forced into the arena, but never that I myself would have to be a player in the games again.
Yeah, because it's a shitty fucking idea, Snow.
Yeah, why? Because there's no precedent for it. Victors are out of the reaping for life. That's the deal if you win.
That's
until
the thing.
Now. Yeah. So now there's no reason for them to be remotely loyal to the Capitol in any way, shape, or form because fuck the Capitol.
And also, the whole time, Effie is sad. Her stylists are sad. People in the Capitol are sad. The announcers start crying. Everybody hates this. This is this is the biggest whiff. This dude is so stupid.
Yeah, but she says it's just too perfect an answer for the troubles that face the Capitol today. Getting rid of me and subduing the districts all in one neat little package.
Yeah, but
is it the perfect solution? I think that this is actually really dumb.
Here's the thing about Katniss. She's smart, except when she's not. And pretty consistently, for the sake of the plot to be interesting, she's not smart enough to pick up on the plot.
Well, but that's in a realistic way, I feel, because she's only 16 years old. So, yeah, victors are strongest. They're the ones who survive the arena and slip the noose of poverty that strangles the rest of us. They, or should I say we, are the very embodiment of hope where there is no hope. Again, dumb. They're the hope.
Horrible plan.
You're snuffing the hope. Now there's nothing to live for. So they might as well fucking throw their bodies at the problem. This is not very smart. And now 23 of us will be killed to show how even that hope was an illusion. And this is the problem.
Horrible plan. Stupid thing. Dumb person. And she goes straight to Haymitch's house. And he's like, yeah, well, guess who just left? Peeta was here. He was like, fuck you, I'm going in.
Yeah. They're guests. The victors are guests at every games. And she thinks that they might be friends.
Yeah, they are.
You know what makes it really easy to fucking kill people is if you're friends.
That's what happened. That's the whole training thing. She's like, I can't kill these fucking people. How the fuck am I going to kill these people? They're all nice. This is bullshit.
It is.
I like, Haymitch goes, what are you here for? And she thinks for a minute and goes, a drink. And he goes, there you go. I do appreciate how upfront they are about this stuff. Because he's like, are you here to ask me to go in for him so he can live? And she goes, no, fuck that. But she goes, maybe it should be you. What's she say? You hate life anyway. He's like, that's a good point.
Yeah, so he says, there she is.
Yeah.
All tuckered out. Finally did the math, did you, sweetheart? Worked out you won't be going in alone. And now you're here to ask me what? I'll admit, it was easier for the boy. He was here before I could snap the seal on a bottle, begging me for another chance to go in. But what can you say? Take his place, Haymitch, because all things being equal, I'd rather Peeta had a crack at the rest of his life than you.
So fucking funny. And then they drink for 5 minutes.
And then she just says, I came for a drink.
And Peeta comes in, he's like, no, we're not doing that. Fuck you guys.
So they start drinking.
He makes no bones. Although, I'm sorry, I guess before that, they decide that they're going to get Peeta through it.
Yeah,
right?
Haymitch says that his plan is to go back in with Katniss, maybe, if he can.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, if my name's drawn... hold on. Sorry, let me get into character. If my name's drawn at the reaping, it won't matter. He'll just volunteer to take my place.
That's true.
It'd be bad for you in the arena, wouldn't it? Knowing all the others? Oh, I think we can count on it being pretty unbearable wherever I am.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
Oh, and Katniss refuses to give the bottle back so that he just pulls out another bottle.
I know, it's so fucking funny.
From under the table.
And she's lit at this point.
So she does.
Oh, wait, Peeta doesn't pour out the booze yet. I'm sorry.
But she says this time we're going to do what we can to keep Peeta alive.
Yeah, and then she talks to Gale. This guy.
Yeah, and she says, that she's as good as dead anyway. So they should try to save Peeta because maybe they'll leave Peeta alone. Fat chance, but, And then fucking Gale shows up.
It's the tricky thing. Again, Gale is a very difficult thing to place because, yes, you need that firebrand energy. But on the other hand...
we need a lot of different kinds of people for things to work.
Yeah, I think it's... My thing about... I don't even... Gale, not even as a subset of his demographic. Gale annoys me because he's got this sort of holier-than-thou attitude towards taking money from Katniss. Like, he goes on this whole rant about how he won't take money from Katniss, and then he sells poached meat to the head of the police.
Yeah. Which is more contributing to the problem.
Contributing to the problem.
Which I go, if he really has a problem with taking money from Katniss,
which I get,
then give her meat for it.
Yeah. And then she will give the meat to other people. But it's like...
yeah, but... if it's really a pride issue, then do that. Don't give meat to the chief of police, sir.
Even if the chief of police is, oh, I forgot, he's a diddler.
Yeah, he's a diddler.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't give meat to diddlers.
Maybe I'm being too nitpicky here with Gale because he's just not PETA, and because next to PETA, anybody looks shitty. But
no, I just think our prefrontal cortex is developed.
Is it prefrontal?
I don't know.
I thought it was frontal lobe.
It's like 9 o'clock.
That's true.
You know what? You're lucky I came up with whatever those words were.
It's true.
So, anyway.
I just feel like he's going to get someone killed.
Maybe. Maybe himself.
Yeah.
Prim and her mother are there in the doorway holding each other, and Gale says, it's not too late to leave.
It is. Good try, though.
But she thinks, if she leaves, then her mother and Prim die. And she's also got PETA to protect. End of discussion.
Yeah,
it is.
She's in a corner now. And then she vomits on... So all this happens, but like the first thing that really... This whole chapter is pretty much her reacting. And then PETA whips him into shape.
Yeah, she gets a bad hangover. And her mom and Prim put her in jammies.
And she cries, and it's very sad, and it's very sweet. And then I think the next day, PETA's like, all right, up and at 'em. Here we go. Time to go. Time to get in shape. Working 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, and PETA pours all the liquor down the drain.
Haymitch starts licking the bottles because, God, addiction is horrible.
Oh, Haymitch tries to stab PETA a little.
Yeah. Half-heartedly, right?
Yeah, just a little. And Katniss is pissed for Haymitch.
Yeah. And PETA says, if you get more liquor, I'll turn you both in. So he pours it. But like the whole point of this is that he's like, I'm coaching you fuckers. Even though I'm the one going in, Katniss, you're going to get off your ass and get out of despair because despair isn't going to get you anywhere. And Haymitch, you're going to stop drinking and be a good coach. Mm-hmm. Right?
Oh, yeah. And Effie's sending them recordings of all the living victors.
Yes,
so
which
they
is good
watch
of her.
Everything.
Thanks, Effie. You still suck.
They're gonna steady up.
Yeah.
Which, how fun to watch, like, replays of people getting fucking murdered.
Terrible. But that's pretty much all that happens until the reaping, right?
Mm-hmm. And he says, we're going to watch their games and learn everything we can about how they fight. We're going to put on weight and get strong. We're going to start acting like careers. And one of us is going to be victor again, whether you two like it or not.
Who are you doing a voice for? Is that your PETA voice? Sounds like your Haymitch voice.
No, Haymitch is deeper.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well done.
I've got different levels.
No, it's very good.
Slightly raspy. Haymitch's is very raspy.
No,
and Gale's is a little stupid growing.
I just lost track.
There's many men I have to pretend to be.
It's true.
My voice can only go so deep.
It's true.
I have to get creative. Okay. She realizes she never met any of the victors on the victory tour, which seems weird.
They get in shape. They train. Everybody's excited to see them play again, but also like not. They're the favorites to win.
Oh, and Gale's all upset.
And then it's just suddenly it's reaping day. And Effie is like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with these big ass fish bowls with one sheet of paper in them?
Yeah, they're kind of funny.
It is pretty funny. And
yeah.
PETA volunteers immediately.
Yeah, she says, I stand alone in a small roped-off area with PETA and Haymitch in a similar pen to the right of me. The reaping only takes a minute. Effie, shining in a wig of metallic gold, lacks her usual verve. She has to claw around the girl's reaping ball for quite a while to snag the one piece of paper that everybody already knows has my name on it. Then she catches Haymitch's name. He barely has time to shoot me an unhappy look before PETA has volunteered to take his place. We are immediately marched into the Justice Building to find head peacekeeper Thread waiting for us.
Fuck that guy. You want to sell him some fucking meat, Gale? I know, Gale had a bad time, I know.
Mm-hmm. Haymitch and Effie appear, escorted by guards. Peacekeepers hurry us all onto the train and slam the door. The wheels begin to turn, and I'm left staring out the window, watching District 12 disappear, with all my goodbyes still hanging on my lips.
Very sad.
So she doesn't even get to say goodbye to her family this time.
Nope, it sucks.
Chapter 14, guess what do you got for us?
Alert, alert, Effie had her hair redone to match the pin. Oh, never mind, she's still denser than a Christmas cake. Brother and sister tributes, huh? That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, the mayor's wife's twin got reaped. No wonder she's got a substance abuse problem.
Yeah, is it any wonder that she's got a drug issue?
These books are so dark.
Yeah. And then everyone's like, those are for girls. Fuck you. This is like our shit right here. Okay.
This is bleaker than Malazan.
For sure.
Malazan's not bleak, actually. Anyway.
Oh, so Chapter 14, Gus. I remain at the window long after the woods have swallowed up the last glimpse of my home. This time I don't even have the slightest hope of return. Before my first games, I promised Prim I would do everything I could to win, and now I've sworn to myself to do all I can to keep PETA alive. I will never reverse this journey again.
No, Katniss, you're gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
I'd actually figured out what I wanted my last words to my loved ones to be. How best to close and lock the doors and leave them sad but safely behind. And now the Capitol has stolen that as well.
Boo, fuck the cap. Excuse me, fuck the
PETA's
Capitol.
like, they're gonna write, we'll write letters and it'll be fine.
Yep. And they eat the fancy foods, and PETA and Effie try to talk, and he says, nice hair, and she goes, yeah, it's because her pin was so cool. And I went, wait a minute, is Effie in on this? And then I went, no, of course she's not, because she disappoints me every single day.
Yeah.
Every time she shows up. Ooh, maybe Effie won't suck today. Never mind.
Yeah, she doesn't know that the Mockingjay pin is now a symbol used by the rebels.
Right, and she wants them all to have, like, matching Mockingjay colored
Yeah,
stuff.
they'll have, like, matching gold stuff.
Haymitch is like,
Bad idea.
yeah,
He's like, whatever. But Peter's like, that's a great idea.
And yeah, and it's pretty much just more studying,
Katniss
right?
goes, maybe we could get you a wig too.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, they watch all the reapings.
Yeah, so they watch all the reapings.
And Haymitch is like, that's my buddy. Well, shit.
Yeah. So there have been 75 victors. 59 are still alive. I recognize many of their faces either from seeing them as tributes or mentors at previous games or from our recent viewing of the victors' tapes. Some are so old and wasted by illness, drugs, or drink that I can't place them.
Ugh.
I mean...
yeah, but ugh.
As one would expect, the pools of career tributes from Districts 1, 2, and 4 are the largest, but every district has managed to scrape up at least one female and one male victor. The reapings go by quickly. PETA studiously puts stars by the names of the chosen tributes in his notebook. Haymitch watches, his face devoid of emotion, as friends of his step up to take the stage. Effie makes hushed, distressed comments like, "Oh no, not Cecilia. Well, Chaff never could stay out of a fight," and sighs frequently.
Even Effie's sad.
So she's trying to make mental notes.
Yeah, okay, we got the brother and sister.
There's the classically beautiful brother and sister from District 1.
Victors in consecutive years. What a bunch of bullshit is that? Oh, Brutus volunteers.
Brutus a volunteer from District 2.
I said there was going to be a guy who was like, hell yes, glory days, let's roll.
Who must be at least 40 and apparently can't wait to get back in the arena.
Dude, get a hobby.
Finnick, the handsome bronze-haired guy from District 4.
Fuck this guy. This guy is I hate this guy. Fuck this guy.
Who was crowned 10 years ago at the age of 14.
I hate this guy. This guy sucks.
So
this guy sees 17-year-old Katniss and is like, hey, girl, are you Catherine Howard?
We did just go see Six the Musical.
Because I'm going to make a lot of inappropriate advances on you for someone who is a minor.
Yeah. But did you hear what age he got reaped?
14. Yes, good for him. But also, fuck this guy. Yes, I know. Hurt people. Yes, I know. At the same time, fuck this guy. This guy sucks.
Yeah. A hysterical young woman with flowing brown hair is also called from 4, but she's quickly replaced by a volunteer, an 80-year-old woman who needs a cane to walk to the stage.
You know what? She's the MVP.
Mags.
Like, again, I know what she's doing. Suze is going like, guess how I'm going to hurt you today.
Yeah. Sometimes being older isn't better.
I mean, good on Mags for being like, well, you know what? Because we learn later, like, she is in poor health, And I guess she's like, should probably just go eat some berries, take a nap.
I mean, you know what? If you are of that age, of an advanced age, it is a noble thing to do.
In this particular, very specific instance.
Do you think we ever learn who the hysterical woman is?
Maybe. We might. Yeah, I think in this specific, particular instance, this is a very noble thing that she does.
It is a very noble thing. Then there's Joanna Mason. Quite the character.
What the fuck is up with this what the fuck?
The only living female Victor from 7.
The most out of place, to my mind and eyes, the most out of place character. Feels like she should be in a Robert Jordan novel with how often she's getting her tits out.
Yeah, she won a few years back by pretending that she was a weakling. So she was the one who cried a bunch.
Yeah.
And then
now here's the
everyone
thing.
Underestimated her.
Do I think that there is actually no good reason for her to be getting her breasts out? No, I think that it's something depressing and that I'm going to be very upset when I learn about it based on everything else Suzanne Collins has done. But the fact that twice within 4 chapters, she's just like, here's my breasts and my butt. And I'm going to rub oil on myself. I'm just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
The woman from 8, who Effie calls Cecilia, who looks about 30, God. Has to detach herself from the 3 kids who run up to cling to her.
That's...
Yeah. Chaff, a man from 11, who I know to be one of Haymitch's particular friends, is also in.
Chaff seems kind of weird. He kisses Katniss on the mouth to throw her off.
Yeah.
I get it, but that's kind of weird, dude.
I'm called, then Haymitch, and PETA volunteers. One of the announcers actually gets teary because it seems the odds will never be in our favor.
Correct.
We star-crossed lovers of District 12. Then she pulls herself together to say she bets that these will be the best games ever.
No, they won't. They'll be the last games ever.
You think?
Yes.
So PETA tells Katniss to get some sleep, and she knows she's not going to be able to because she can't handle the nightmares.
Oh, she has nightmares about Mags turning into a rat and chewing her face off or something.
No, yeah, something like that.
She gives PETA wakes up.
Yeah,
they hug.
He's reviewing the notes. She couldn't sleep.
Is this when they watch Haymitch's? Yeah, this is. This is where they watch Haymitch's game, which.
Yeah, they decide to watch it. Yeah.
See, when you were like, oh, I wish she'd write a book about Haymitch's games, I assumed we didn't know everything that happened.
No,
but
we know everything.
We know everything that happened. So why would she? Why would?
That's why everyone's like. That's why I was like, why the hell would we want that? We already know what happens.
And
there's no dramatic tension.
And that sucks in a bad way, but sucks in a.
It's also fucked up. It's twice the amount of kids.
It's 47 dead kids, and yeah, so here's the thing. I was like, the mayor, this, that, and the other. The mayor's sister-in-law, the mayor's sister-in-law got reaped. And you're going to tell me he doesn't have any revolutionary tendencies? He absolutely will.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be on the level. He's going to be an okay dude.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Wait, who's going to be
the mayor, Mayor Undersea.
You think he's going to be an okay
His
guy?
sister-in-law was reaped 25 years ago. Are you telling me that after a rebellion breaks out, he's going to be like, well, I'm still on board with this bullshit? No.
He's totally going to still be on board.
Not a chance in hell. Not a snowball's chance in hell. Also, good on Haymitch for teaming up with Maisie Donner.
Yeah,
It's really sad she was killed by birds, which in my head are birds of paradise, the flower. Like she wandered into a patch of those birds of paradise flowers. And they just pecked her to death.
See, those things, I'm a little bit afraid of those flowers, and everybody thinks it's funny.
No, they're kind of weird looking.
They're kind of weird looking and a little scary.
Yeah. So here's the thing about Haymitch's games. They're evil.
So evil.
Because, they're all evil. But they're in like this beautiful, pristine meadow with this lovely mountain, and everything's poisonous, and the flowers kill you if you sniff them for too long.
Yeah.
And then they blow up the mountain and kill 13 tributes in a fucking volcano.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Haymitch, who continues to be one of my favorite characters and is in fact climbing consistently, is like, fuck that, I'm going to try to leave. And then we get the first hints of what I like to call Chekhov's force field.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, she does. May I kind of go back a little.
Yes, I'm sorry. I got excited.
So there's a woman, not Effie, calling the names in 12 at the time. There's just like so many fucking kids. It's overwhelming. But she still begins with ladies first. She calls out the name of a girl who's from the seam. You can tell just by the look of her. And then I hear the name Maisie Donner. Oh, she was my mother's friend. The camera finds her in the crowd, clinging to two other girls, all blonde, all definitely merchants' kids. I think that's your mother hugging her. And he's right. As Maisie Donner bravely disengages herself and heads for the stage, I catch a glimpse of my mother at that age. And no one has exaggerated her beauty. Holding her hand and weeping is another girl who looks just like Maisie, but a lot like someone else I know too. Madge. That's her mother. She and Maisie were twins or something. My dad mentioned it once. I think of Madge's mother, Mayor Undersea's wife, who spends half her life in bed immobilized with terrible pain, shutting out the world.
I bet.
Yeah, I would. Listen, we did condemn Mrs. Everdeen for doing the same thing, but like, you know what? Trauma. It's trauma.
She didn't have, multiple children solely dependent on her at the time.
Yeah. I mean, still sucks, but It's both.
It's both.
Trauma sucks for everyone involved.
It's both. Oh, excuse me.
Haymitch's name is called last of all. That's so brutal because you're like so close to not being called. It's more of a shock to see him than my mother. Young, strong. Hard to admit, but he was something of a looker. I believe that. His hair dark and curly, those gray seam eyes bright, and even then, dangerous. I still just see Woody Harrelson, so that just surprises me.
Gray eye. Fucking protagonist eyes, man. Mm-hmm. They're either gray or purple. They
gotta be gray or purple or blue if they must.
Yeah.
No, not blue. Green. They gotta be green.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
If they're going for normal, like regular colors. Oh, Peter, you don't think he killed Maisie, do you? I don't know why, but I can't stand the thought.
No.
With 48 players, I'd say the odds are against it.
It was. Was it 18 died in the cornucopia?
Let's find out. Oh, this is funny. So Caesar Flickerman is still the guy.
Oh, yes.
So
carpetbag fornication himself.
He asks Haymitch, what do you think of the games having 100% more competitors than usual? I don't see that it makes much of a difference. They'll still be 100% as stupid as usual, so I figure my odds will be roughly the same.
Snarky.
He's a snarky boy.
Snarker.
Arrogant. So it's good to see some things haven't changed.
And then they get into it,
It's the most breathtaking place imaginable. The golden cornucopia sits in the middle of a green meadow with patches of gorgeous flowers. The sky is azure blue with puffy white clouds.
How'd you say that?
Azure?
Azure, yeah.
My bad. Bright songbirds. This is a word I've only ever read.
See, it's a word I know because it's also a Microsoft thing.
I knew I said it wrong the minute that I said it because you started. Bright songbirds flutter overhead. By the way some of the tributes are sniffing, it must smell fantastic.
It's Pison.
Mm-hmm.
Pison. 18 tributes dying because they're like, wow, flowers and birds. And then the timer goes off and Haymitch is like, fuck y'all.
Straight for
I've got all my shit and I'm out.
Weapons, because a bunch of people are still like kind of shocked by how beautiful it is. But Haymitch is off like a shot. He gets weapons and a backpack and heads for the woods before most of the others have stepped off their plates. 18 tributes, are killed in the bloodbath on that first day. Others begin to die off, and it becomes clear that almost everything in this pretty place, the luscious fruit dangling from the bushes, that's so mean. The water in the crystalline streams, even the scent of the flowers when inhaled too directly, is deadly poisonous. Only the rainwater and the food provided at the cornucopia are safe to consume.
Only the rainwater?
Only the rainwater.
What the fuck?
It's so fucked up. There's also a large, well-stocked career pack of 10 tributes scouring the mountain area for victims. 10. 10 of them. That's a fucking pack.
6 one time, so that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. And then Haymitch has some trouble because the fluffy golden squirrels turn out to be
carnivorous squirrels and evil butterflies.
And attack in packs. And the butterfly stings bring agony, if not death. Jesus. Maisie Donner turns out to be pretty resourceful herself for a girl who leaves the cornucopia with only a small backpack. Inside, she finds a bowl, of weed. No. Some dried beef and a blowgun with 24 darts. Making use of the readily available poisons, she soon turns the blowgun into a deadly weapon by dipping the darts in lethal substances.
Very smart.
And directing them into her opponent's flesh.
And Haymitch just heads the fuck south.
Yeah.
And he gets in a fight with a bunch of, he kills
so the
3
volcano
careers,
erupts
the volcano goes
and wipes
off.
out a dozen players, including all but 5 of the careers.
Yeah. Man, that would suck.
Yeah, and so with the mountain spewing liquid fire and the meadow offering no means of concealment, the remaining 13 tributes, including Haymitch and Maisley, have no choice but to confine themselves to the woods. Haymitch seems bent on continuing in the same direction, away from the now volcanic mountain, but a maze of tightly woven hedges forces him to circle back into the center of the woods, where he encounters 3 of the careers and pulls his knife. They may be much bigger and stronger, but Haymitch has remarkable speed, and has killed 2 when the 3rd disarms him. That career is about to slit his throat when a dart drops him to the ground. Maisley Donner steps out of the woods. We lived longer with the 2 of us.
Very dramatic, very good. And they just go south, and he's like, "Well, I'm trying to fucking leave," and she's like, "You can't." And he's like, "Try me," and then he gets to the edge, and he's like, "I tried me, it didn't work," and the pebble bounces back when he throws it off because force fields are weird.
Yeah,
and then they go their separate ways, and then she fucking dies, but he goes to save her.
Oh yeah, but they make it through this weird hedge with a blowtorch.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that they stole from a dead career. Yep, and then he throws the rock off and it shoots right back into his hand. But that's after the 2 of them split up.
Right. And then he rushes to try to save her. He holds her while it's very sweet. And then it pretty much jumped to the final 2, right? Because one gets eaten by squirrels. God, that's funny, but also terrible.
So terrible.
And Haymitch clevers his way to the throne.
Well, no, first, Maisley dies.
Yeah, I said that, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's when we hear Maisley begin to scream. The alliance is over and she broke it off, so no one could blame him for ignoring her, but Haymitch runs for her anyway. He arrives only in time to watch the last of a flock of candy-pink birds equipped with long, thin beaks skewer her through the neck. He holds her hand while she dies, and all I can think of is Rue and how I was too late to save her, too. So maybe we don't judge Haymitch so much.
No.
Yep. Later that day, another is killed in combat. A 3rd gets eaten by a pack of those fluffy squirrels, leaving Haymitch and a girl from District 1 to vie for the crown. She's bigger than he is, and just as fast. And when the inevitable fight comes, it's bloody and awful, and both have received what could well be fatal wounds. When Haymitch is finally disarmed, he staggers through the beautiful woods, holding his intestines in, while she stumbles after him, carrying the axe that should deliver his death blow. Haymitch makes a beeline for his cliff and has just reached the edge when she throws the axe. He collapses on the ground and it flies into the abyss. Now weaponless as well, the girl just stands there, trying to staunch the flow of blood pouring from her empty eye socket.
No.
Ugh. She's thinking perhaps she can outlast Haymitch, who's starting to convulse on the ground. But what she doesn't know, and what he does, is that the axe will return. And when it flies back over the edge, it buries itself in her head. The cannon sounds, her body is removed, and the trumpets blow to announce Haymitch's victory.
Very sad. They've brought up force fields so many times this book. They do it now, they do it in a few chapters. It's going to be important. Also, Katniss doesn't okay, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, sorry, go ahead. I'm getting excited about things I want to talk about, so I can't talk about them yet, because we're not there.
Yeah.
But I'm getting excited, and I want to talk about them.
Yeah, so the force field is there to throw you back if you try to jump off and commit suicide. Haymitch found a way to turn it into a weapon, not just against the other tributes, but the Capitol too. You know they didn't expect that to happen. It wasn't meant to be part of the arena. They never planned on anyone using it as a weapon. It made them look stupid that he figured it out. I bet they had a good time trying to spin that one. Bet that's why I don't remember seeing it on television. It's almost as bad as Us and the Berries. Almost, but not quite, says Haymitch from behind us.
Yeah.
I whip around, afraid he's going to be angry over us watching his tape, but he just smirks and takes a swig from a bottle of wine. So much for sobriety. I guess I should be upset he's drinking again, but I'm preoccupied with another feeling. I've spent all these weeks getting to know who my competitors are without even thinking about who my teammates are. Now a new kind of confidence is lighting up inside of me, because I think I finally know who Haymitch is, and I'm beginning to know who I am. And surely 2 people who have caused the Capitol so much trouble can think of a way to get Peeta home alive.
Yay!
Yay! Chapter 15, Gus.
I do have notes, Allie.
Oh.
Well said.
Well.
All right. Katniss discovering broccolini, baby carrots, grape tomatoes, and fingerling potatoes. Because she's like, they gave me like mini vegetables. They were like small versions of real vegetables. And I'm like, it's called baby corn. That is a water chestnut.
So you're telling me this woman has lived her whole life without baby corn?
I am afraid that she probably has.
Honestly, cherry tomatoes are such a great snack.
They're really tasty.
I'll get a whole little tin of those fuckers. Just go to town. I'm a big tomato gal, though.
They are very good. When we see something sweet, we have to grab it quick. I immediately hate Finnick.
What's your nickname for Finnick?
What, the pedophile?
Yeah.
I hate him so much. I fucking hate this guy. This guy sucks.
Yeah.
I hope she kills him immediately.
Yeah.
Just fuck this guy.
You're like, I want to, with Finnick, you want Finn?
Finn to Finnick, yes.
Finn to Finnick, okay.
He can take his trident or whatever and swim his ass right out of the arena, but I don't know what the arena looks like, so maybe he can't. Oh man, is Cinna already dead? No, he's not. He's fine. Morphling addicts from District 6. God, this is bleak. Joanna Mason going casually fully nudist in the prep room. Not a bad strategy.
There are worse. I believe that in the first book, they mention Joanna.
They do. It's the girl who, like, hid and ran and then suddenly was like, haha, I flay for real. She was the real Rue the Flayer.
Fun fact about Joanna.
True Rue, yes?
She was also the only woman victor in her district.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so she was fucked from the get-go.
She was pissed from the get-go, yes. What do we think about Joanna? Into her?
Well,
hate her?
I am confused
You're
because
confused.
she is the most out of place, seemingly, which means I'm sure there's something depressing going on. Because all the other victors are
What?
like
In the Hunger Games?
miserable or substance abusers or, you know, deeply traumatized. And then Joanna's just like, check out my breasts.
And Finnick's hitting on minors.
On children, yeah. So I feel like there is...
Minors who are minors.
Hey, minors.
Minors.
I feel like there is a reason why she's so comfortable being naked, and I feel like it's depressing, and I feel like it's something like the Capitol pimped her out after her games.
Yee.
I'm not happy about that, but I feel like it's probably something like that.
Yikes. That would be rough.
It would be rough, but you know, I'm not putting it past this shit. And then my last note was, oh God, F in the chat for Darius.
Oh, yeah. An Avox.
He is an Avox now. Very sad.
Did you see that coming?
No, I forgot about him because he talks once at the beginning and then he gets punched in the face by Romulus Thread.
He didn't seem like that bad of a dude.
I mean, he was a cop in the district, and that's never going to be good, but it seemed like he was a pretty sympathetic one.
He wasn't a terrible guy. He was just part of the system.
Mm-hmm.
He was complicit, but not maybe malicious.
Oh, I want to go back on something, go back to something I said earlier.
Yeah.
When I was talking about Gale selling food to the former head peacekeeper.
Yeah.
Because I realized it could be interpreted as my saying, like, oh, you say you're anti-capitalist, but you own an iPhone. No, I understand that he has to do what he has to do to survive and to work within the confines of the system that he wants to eventually overthrow. I'm not being a forgot the term for it. It's not virtue signaler. No, there's a specific term for this. It's like purist or fuck. Oh god damn it. This comes up in politics all the time. It's like, if I'm not saying that if
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a term for this. I
where you just don't
think
see
of it
the
all
moral
the time.
gray of
Yeah, I'm
living
not
in the
saying
world.
that if he is not purely following his ideology then he is a hypocrite. That's not what I'm saying.
Life sucks and you have kids to support.
Right. And also, like, yeah, he's got to sell his poached meat to someone. The only thing that I am side-eyeing a little bit is that he is so vociferously anti-establishment, and yet it seems as though one of the main people that he distributes stolen goods to was the pedophilic head of the police department in the district. So I'm like, well, in that case, that's a little...
Like, you'd rather sell to the pedophilic head of the police force that is actively oppressing your people as opposed to your kind of sort of ex.
Yeah. And again, like, I get he's like, okay, well, she's in bed with the Capitol because she got the money from the Capitol. But it's like, even in that position...
But they both got money from the Capitol.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, I mean, like, even in that position, she is in a place because she has the resources of the class above her to fight back more effectively with those resources. I realize she can't because of, you know, all of the death threats. But like, were she in the position to be able to do so, she is better equipped. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I realized thinking back to what I said earlier, that it could be construed as my being, I can't believe I can't remember this fucking phrase. It's not virtue signal. Anyway, whatever. You know what I mean.
Someone will tell us.
Yes.
And they'll get a gold star in podcast. So she's going through prep with Flavius, Venia, and Octavia, and she thinks it should be just the same old routine to survive. But I hadn't anticipated the emotional ordeal that awaits me. At some point during the prep, each of them bursts into tears at least twice, and Octavia pretty much keeps a running whimper throughout the morning. It turns out they really have become attached to me.
See, I started to feel a little bad for the get fucked brigade here, because I was like, oh, you guys are just brainwashed and kept in the dark and never had an opposing view offered to you.
Well, yeah, they were under the impression that this was a good thing that they were doing into some capacity. It's hard to imagine, but when you are inundated with propaganda from the time you're a child, then deconstructing that takes time.
Takes a long time. Absolutist? That's not it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, and they had no reason to. This is the first time that they've had to work with someone twice.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I have in the past been fascinated with cults and extremist ideology because I find it interesting how seemingly ordinary people or regular people can end up, you know, in this kind of situation. And then, you know, I saw this person who was deconstructing and people were very critical of her because she hadn't fully deconstructed yet, the popular figure of this, you know, cult.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people who had escaped a similar situation were like, give her time. She's still like actively deconstructing. It takes a while to go from my upbringing wasn't great to holy shit, everything I've ever learned is a lie. It takes a lot to fully deconstruct from something like that.
Yeah.
It should happen as you get, you know, sentient and aware of the world around you.
Yes.
But it takes a lot of bravery as well and a lot of critical thought and facing the realities of what you've been doing. I don't think that they saw those children as people.
No, they didn't. They thought no.
And I think that they see the victors as people because they become close through all of the events that they've done and all of that. And they feel like they know them and they know their stories and they understand them. And they might even have like a weird parasocial relationship with them. So President Snow fucked up, I think.
Yeah, this was a gaffe. I think
he failed to understand that people got attached to other people. I find myself in the position of having to console them. Since I'm the person going to be slaughtered, this is somewhat annoying. I just fucking love Katniss in these books. I still think that all of that will be forgotten once the gong sounds, but it's something of a revelation that those in the Capitol feel anything at all about us. They certainly don't have a problem watching children murdered every year. But maybe they know too much about the victors, especially the ones who've been celebrities for ages, to forget we're human beings. It's more like watching your own friends die. More like the games are for those of us in the districts. So for the first time, they're actually feeling something about what's going on.
Imagine. This is even
I also
stupider
feel
thing. Also
some of them are aware that this is wrong. Like, it seems like Cinna understands
Cinna seems to be,
this is shit.
And I think that what Plutarch Havensby might also be a little bit on the level. Also, some people were like, President Snow's not stupid. And please know that when I say things like, this man is dumber than dirt, it's because it's more fun than saying, this person is consumed by their own hubris and has erred fundamentally in their understanding of their own process.
It's called wheel takes.
I know he's not stupid.
Anyway.
He's being stupid.
Yeah, we're having fun with him. We understand that he's not stupid. We think that his decision was stupid, ultimately, and short-sighted.
Hold on, let me open my can of water.
So Cinna shows up, and Katniss is all irritable, and she says, I swear if you cry, I'll kill you here and now. And he says, had a damp morning. You could wring me out.
I love this guy. When he dies, it's going to be very sad.
And he promises he'll talk to them so she doesn't have to keep going through that.
Oh, and...
So they talk about what she's going to wear.
Yeah, I don't remember. They turn into cinders, right? They turn them into cinders, basically.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I think it's actually even better. It's amazing to me that this guy has not been arrested yet, Cinna.
He's certainly playing with fire. Thank you. He turns me toward a mirror so I can take in the entire effect. I do not see a girl or even a woman, but some unearthly being who looks like she might make her home in the volcano that destroyed so many in Haymitch's quell. The black crown, which now appears red hot, casts strange shadows on my dramatically made-up face. Katniss, the girl on fire, has left behind her flickering flames and bejeweled gowns and soft candlelit frocks. She is as deadly as fire itself.
Cool. Fuck him up.
Yeah, so she looks cool as hell. And he says, I think your days of pink lipstick and ribbons are behind you.
Fuck him up. Get him. Get him. Get him.
It's pretty dang
Get
cool.
him. Get him. Get him.
So all the victors...
Yeah,
their mentors, who are also victors, are like talking in small groups.
And these poor fucks from District 6 are just utterly strung out on morphling, which is just morphine. It's rough.
Yeah, Finnick shows up.
I hate him. This is what I was worried PETA was covering. I thought I was not pedophilia.
This creepiness.
This he's so charming, because everybody in the districts thinks he's so charming, and he's definitely made out with a bunch of them at parties and stuff. But he's his mid-20s hitting on a 16-year-old man.
He's giving former straight man in the theater department who's still hanging around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like he's there, like he's graduated 2 years ago. And he's out, and he's performed at a couple regional theaters, but he keeps coming back to hit on the freshmen.
Yep. Yeah, and this dude won when he was 14.
It's like a predatory creepo.
Yeah.
Sure. He won when he was 14. Yeah.
I don't like this guy.
Well, if not one of the youngest winners.
Seems kind of fishy. Oh, wrong button.
I mean, that one also kind of applies. What? I don't think that one was right. Oh,
fishy.
I get it.
Because he's from the fish place. Because
he's from the fish place. The fish market, if you will. So yeah. The crunching hits my ear before I even know he's beside me. And when I turn my head, Finnick O'Dare's famous sea green eyes are only inches from mine.
No.
He pops a sugar cube in his mouth and leans against my horse.
Jail.
Hello, Katniss.
Jail.
Hello, Finnick.
Jail. Kill him now.
I'm feeling uncomfortable at his closeness, especially since he's got so much bare skin exposed. Want a sugar cube?
Jail.
They're supposed to be for the horses, but who cares? They've got years to eat sugar. Whereas you and I, well, if we see something sweet, we better grab it quick.
Jail.
Finnick O'Dare is something of a legend in Panem. Since he won the 65th Hunger Games when he was only 14, he's still one of the youngest victors. Being from District 14, he was a career, so the odds were already in his favor. But what no trainer could claim to have given him was his extraordinary beauty. Tall, athletic, with golden skin and bronze-colored hair and those incredible eyes. While other tributes that year were hard-pressed to get a handful of grain or some matches for a gift, Finnick never wanted for anything. Not food or medicine or weapons.
Jail.
He's a 14-year-old boy.
Jail.
Jail.
Everybody go to jail. Everybody. Jail, 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 jail.
Jail. It took about a week for his competitors to realize that he was the one to kill, but it was too late.
Jail.
He was already a good fighter with the spears and knives he found in the cornucopia. When he received a silver parachute with a trident, Jesus, Katniss could barely get ointment for her burns.
I feel like at that point they were like, he's the fan favorite. Let him just drop a fucking train on everyone else.
So it's Redemption Island? If we're thinking in Survivor terms?
Yeah, kinda. It turned into Redemption
Island. Oh, wait,
Island.
no. Which one is the one I'm thinking of? With the winner that just steamrolls everyone. Because they brought back... I don't want to get too specific.
That's Redemption Island.
Is it Redemption Island? Then which one was the one with Coach?
South Pacific.
Okay, because I'm thinking Redemption Island.
Redemption Island.
Yeah.
Redemption Island is a season where there was a little while on Survivor.
I didn't want to spoil it, but...
Well, I'm not going to say who wins. There's a little while on Survivor where they brought in coaches. Like, each of the two starting tribes would have one returning player on that tribe.
As you can imagine, it was unbelievably unfair and everyone hated it.
Ridiculously unbalanced because you have one person per tribe who knows what they're doing and has done it before, and, 8 other people who don't and haven't. And inevitably, one of the people on each tribe goes, we should get rid of them now. And then they are immediately eliminated because the returning player has star power.
They're all like fangirling.
Everybody else is like, oh my god, it's so and so. So on one of the coach seasons, this one particular player, and I won't tell you if it's a coach or if it's miraculously not a coach, just abso-fucking-lutely railroads the entire season. It is less of a game.
The deck is so stacked in their favor after a while,
it's
too.
Appalling.
It's ridiculous.
It's appalling. It's less of a game and more of a coronation.
Yeah, it's not fun to watch.
No,
it's not a fun season.
This person also finds the two most sort of awkward, the most awkward people, and he just ties them to his body and drags them to the end. It's so not fun to watch.
No, it's not fun at all. So
I just remember.
He wove a net out of some kind of vine he found, used it to entangle his opponent so he could spear them with the trident. And within a matter of days, the crown was his. So I'm curious.
Yeah.
Because he's a career.
Yeah.
But he was 14 when he went in. Doesn't seem like the age...
Well,
that would guarantee any kind of victory.
Finnick the Flayer.
Finnick the Flayer. Finnick the Spearer, really. Because of his youth, they couldn't really touch him for the first year or two.
Jail.
Did you miss that one?
I'm gonna...
So your opinions about Joanna may also be true about
Jail.
Finnick.
Oh.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
But ever since he turned 16, he's spent his time at the games being dogged by those desperately in love with him. No one retains his favor for long. He can go through 4 or 5 in his annual visit. Do you think he reciprocates those feelings?
No!
Mm-hmm. Old or young, lovely or plain, rich or very rich, he'll keep them company and take their extravagant gifts.
Okay, now I feel bad for him.
But he never stays, and once he's gone, he never comes back.
Fine, he's a victim too. I still hate him. But God damn it, Suze, you fucking piece of fucking sympathetic... God damn it. Let me hate one other person who's not Snow.
Listen to what he's in, too. He's draped in a golden net that's strategically knotted at his groin.
Yeah, it's a dick net, I know.
So that he can't technically be called naked, but he's about as close as you can get. A dick net. Want to catch this dick? That's what this outfit is saying.
Now I'm sad.
I'm
was
sure
like,
his
fuck this
stylist
guy, and then I
thinks-
realized I glossed over that last paragraph.
I'm sure his stylist... You can still hate him.
I do, but he's also a victim.
They're all victims. I'm sure his stylist thinks the more of Finnick the audience sees, the better. And so he says to her, what happened to the pretty little girl dresses?
Jail. You're still going to jail. Fuck this guy. I hate him again.
He wets his lips just ever so slightly.
Jail. Okay, yeah, all my sympathy is lessened.
Yeah, and she says, I outgrew them. And then he says, it's too bad about this Quell thing. You could have made out like a bandit in the Capitol. Jewels, money, anything you wanted. Thank God PETA was around.
Yep, and Haymitch.
Thank God.
Yep.
Thank God.
Yep, jail.
Thank God. Thank God that her story was, I'm so in love.
Jail.
Thank God.
Jail.
So then she says, I don't like jewels, and I have more money than I need. What do you spend all yours on anyway, Finnick? Oh, I haven't dealt with anything as common as money for years. Then how do they pay you for the pleasure of your company? With secrets. What about you, girl on fire? Do you have any secrets worth my time? No, I'm an open book. Everybody seems to know my secrets before I know them myself.
Jail.
Unfortunately, I think that's true. PETA is coming.
Get over here, Bread King.
Sorry you have to cancel your wedding. I know how devastating that must be for you.
Why don't you get fucked?
He tosses another sugar cube in his mouth and saunters off. Yeah, so she tells PETA that her skin's crawling over Finnick.
Do we meet, how many, do we go straight to Joanna Mason in the elevator? Which is another thing that made me sad. Not sad that she's comfortable being naked. There's nothing wrong with that.
Let me make sure I'm not missing anything before we jump. There's a lot to cover.
No, there's a lot. I know.
So they go out.
Yeah, they do the carriage thing, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh yeah, and they look at the morphling addicts who are staring back at them like mesmerized. So she looks at the other some of the other tributes. I know Chaff by sight because I've spent years watching him pass a bottle back and forth with Haymitch on television. So they're friends.
Sad.
One of his arms ends in a stump because he lost his hand in the games he won 30 years ago.
Sad.
I'm sure they offered him some artificial replacement like they did PETA when they had to amputate his lower leg, but I guess he didn't take it. Maybe he wanted to remind them, like, hey, this is what you did.
Yeah.
The woman, Cedar, looks almost like she could be from the seam, with her olive skin and straight black hair streaked with silver. Only her golden brown eyes mark her as from another district. So she thinks she looks like she's around 60, but she still looks strong, and there's no sign she's turned to liquor or morphling or any other chemical form of escape over the years. What's her secret? And she hugs Katniss.
You go, Cedar.
And Katniss asks about Rue and Thresh's families, and she says they're alive.
Yeah! Hell yeah!
Thank God.
Grandma Thresh. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay, and then she sees Joanna Mason from District 7, lumber and paper, thus the tree. She's dressed as a tree.
That is the laziest fucking thing.
Katniss agrees. She won by very convincingly portraying herself as weak and helpless so that she would be ignored. Then she demonstrated a wicked ability to murder.
Rough.
Jesus. She ruffles up her spiky hair and rolls her wide-set brown eyes. Isn't my costume awful? My stylist's the biggest idiot in the Capitol. Our tributes have been trees for 40 years under her. Wish I'd gotten Cinna. You look fantastic. So, yeah. So then she asks she asks PETA to unzip her dress.
No, she just unzips it herself, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah. She unzips it.
And she just gets fully
naked. He goes, that's better. And she ignores PETA, but thinks he might be grinning. And then he laughs.
Yeah, so I read this and I was like, what?
And she's like, what's funny? And he says, it's you, Katniss. Can't you see? What's me? Why, they're all acting like this. Finnick with the sugar cubes and Chaff kissing you and the whole thing with Joanna stripping down. They're playing with you because you're so, No, I don't know. It's like when you wouldn't look at me naked in the arena even though I was half dead.
She is real
You're
prudy.
so pure.
Prudish.
I am not. I've been practically ripping your clothes off every time there's a camera for the last year. Yeah, but I mean, for the Capitol, you're pure. For me, you're perfect. They're just teasing you. No, they're laughing at me, and so are you. Aw, Katniss, she gets so defensive. I mean, it is a little weird that they're, like, making fun of her this way.
It is. I don't know, man. Maybe she's ace.
Maybe she is ace.
You know, it comes in many shapes and
Leave
sizes.
her alone.
She's never really expressed any
She's a
interest in
child.
people.
She's 16 years old.
Yeah.
All right. So, Effie looks at the Avoxes and she goes, looks like they've got you a match set this year. And it's 2 redheaded Avoxes.
Effie, I hate you so fucking much.
Yup.
You are the worst. When you fall off a building because, like, I don't know, you too busy going like, ooh, a butterfly, and you fall over Gollum style, I will laugh my fucking ass off. God,
Is that what you think's gonna happen?
No, but God, she's the fucking worst.
So she looks over at the Avoxes, then a chill runs through me, because I know him too. Not from the Capitol, but from years of having easy conversations in the hob, joking over Greasy Say's soup. I can't get over Greasy Say. And that last day watching him lie unconscious in the square while the life bled out of Gale. Our new Avox is Darius. And again, fucking Suzanne. Just crushing the goddamn game.
Yeah.
Chapter 16, Gus. Do you have any notes?
Yes. A couple. Joanna Mason is constantly getting her boobs out, and I feel like it's not for a funny reason. Chekhov's force field.
You think?
Well, they've talked about him twice, and they pointed out a chink in the armor. A specific thing that will help you either recognize them or possibly do something about them.
Yep.
I don't know, man. We've got a markswoman as our protagonist, and we're pointing out little things. Just kind of seems like, maybe we could do something with that. I don't know, call me crazy.
Got you crazy.
And I wrote, Katniss continuing her streak of making the most tactically horrible teammates. She comes out of this, she goes like, I want...
She just can't help herself.
Octogenarian and the nerds.
I'm trying to think of...
This is like if you're in the Wheel of Time, you teamed up for a battle royale with Sebin Balwer and, Herod Fell and Sen Bui.
It's like D&D and AARP. That's what she wants.
Yeah. Listen, maybe Mags turns out to kick ass. Maybe she's got great information. Maybe she's smart as shit. It would make sense. I'm just saying, in a death match,
you don't anticipate Mags?
Maybe she could take Finnick in a fight.
You don't anticipate Mags the Flayer?
I don't, respectfully. I don't know if she could flay people with her teeth. I don't know if she has teeth. What's the dental care like in the colonies? What's the dental care like for the victors? Maybe she has iron teeth. Maybe she will live to flay again. This is Rue's legacy. This time it's gonna work out.
Well, Anabaria
Mags is gonna be tearing out throat like that. What's her name with
Anabaria?
Yeah, fucking shark girl.
She's got the sharp teeth.
Whatever, maybe Mags does too, and everyone just forgot because she won like 70, 65 years ago.
She's got shark dentures.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Could be. Maybe
Be.
You know what? Mags might win it all.
You have Mags down to win it all?
No, but I wish she would. She's great and I love her.
I have Mags down to win it all, personally.
Oh yeah, we get all the Darius stuff. They're very sad about Darius.
Yeah,
She's very
Haymitch
sad
basically
about
like
Darius.
grabs her and is like, don't
fuck this up.
Do it. Don't you dare.
You have a track record of fucking up, so don't.
Yeah, so she goes to her room and is like all sad about Darius. And Effie comes and gets her to go to dinner. And Darius and the redheaded Avox girl serve them dinner. This is all very horrifying.
This is deeply depressing.
And they definitely gave her Darius on purpose.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh, and then she purposely knocks her dish of peas to the floor. And and then goes to clean them up, and Darius helps her, and they're like talking to one another, and their hands meet, and they like clench each other's fingers. Then
Very sweet moment. And then Effie goes, fucking worst.
That isn't your job, Katniss. Oh my God. She just is determined to suck, isn't she?
Effie, Oh,
and Pete is like not sure what happened because he wasn't there that day. So he's like just confused.
He was there that day. He wasn't a scene kid.
Well, she's like, this like awfulness belongs to me and Gale and maybe even Haymitch, but not to Peeta.
Yeah, because Peeta wasn't a scene kid.
Yeah, Peeta didn't really like know him.
He was from the 10%.
More like the 45%.
He was from the 48.5%.
Yeah, and they watch the procession to the city circle.
And she has nightmares.
And they're all very quiet about it. And she thinks about how pitiful it is to see the aging victors in costume.
Yes. God, it's all just so...
Like, Joanna and Finnick are still young.
It's like...
And Cedar and Brutus are still in pretty good shape, but, like, the majority are in the clutches of drink or morphling or illness or age, and they just don't look great.
Brutus just a grown-up Cato if he won.
Do you think Cato would have been...
I understand that they do things differently a little bit with Cato in the movie. Yes, I think Book Cato probably would have gone this way.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched the movie. I know a couple of things about it. Yes, we will eventually do something with the movie.
Oh, yeah.
June is just super fucking busy for us.
Well, yeah, we've got wedding getting.
Yeah.
So she has a horrible dream about
tongues.
Watching, like, bloody tongues and stuff, and Finnick stalking her and then being President Snow. And
I hate Finnick.
His puffy lips are dripping in bloody saliva. And then she's back in the arena, and she's, like, got a dry tongue, and she tries to get some water, but it, like, goes away from her every time she tries to touch it. And then she wakes
the
up
dehydration
sweaty.
thing, that's rough.
And there's not really a lot of discussion about the other contestants this time because everybody knows what they can do at this point.
Yeah,
they've seen it.
And they're not hiding in the practice arenas either. They're all very upfront about it.
Well, yeah,
and
they're like, what's the point of, Joanna can't very well pretend to not be a threat again.
She goes fucking buck wild on the sniper stand.
Oh, yeah.
And Haymitch is like, everybody wants to be your ally. And she goes, I want the old lady and the nerds. And he goes, you're a fucking idiot. You know that?
That's really dumb. But yeah, so Haymitch says that in training they have 2 jobs. 1, stay in love, and 2, make friends.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing about this year. It is different.
But Katniss is like, I don't trust any of them.
She's like me reading book 1.
You need allies this time around.
That's true.
Because you're at a distinct disadvantage. Your competitors have known each other for years. So who do you think they're going to target first?
Probably the
2 newbies.
The 2
well,
newbies.
that happens in every that one of 2 things happens in every returnee season
of Survivor.
Yeah, either they go for the big freaking targets.
Yes.
Right, where they're like, get them out, and then it's like the lackluster people where you're like, really, they brought them back? Did everyone else say no? Those people usually, the people that they were like, these will be like easy pickings, those people will make it to the end. Or all of the strong people will go, we don't want that to happen. So we'll all unite and get together so that we can pick off these newbies, these like newer winners and like less relevant people.
There was one season of Survivor called Game Changers. I'm not going to spoil anything about it except for one person who played on it. But there was a contestant named Sierra Dawn Thomas. And Sierra Dawn Thomas was not a terribly memorable player on her first season.
No.
And then
and not only that, but she had sided with what was a very unpopular
extraordinarily unpopular alliance on her season. And they brought her
for
back
good reason, unpopular.
Yeah. They brought her back for Game Changers, and in the preseason press, she like went on, I want to say, The Price is Right, and they introduced her as fan favorite Sierra Dawn Thomas, and everybody was like, what? Okay, so she must go really deep, and they want to remind us who she is. Not going to tell you if that happened or not. Don't watch that season. It's not very good.
Not very good.
If you want to watch Survivor, watch...
Also, one of the more upsetting things that has ever happened on Survivor.
Oh, I forgot about that. I blocked that out. Yeah, don't watch that season. That season's bad. Watch David vs. Goliath. Great season.
Great season.
Great season.
Top tier.
Or China. Great season.
Great season. I love that you and I are just going like, great season. Great season.
I also like Tocantins. I'm
great
kind of a Tocantins truther.
Lots of people like Tocantins.
Some people like Tocantins. A lot of people think it's dull, but I think it's great.
Well, that's because there's kind of a Finnick in it.
A little bit. It's a good season, though. It's a likable Finnick.
A likable Finnick.
Yeah, it's a good season. It's a good season. Like it. Good season. Not a lot of bad seasons of Survivor. There's a few. Game Changers is one of them. Don't watch Game Changers.
Don't watch Game Changers. Oh, and he wants them to hang out with the careers.
Yeah, well, you know, she doesn't want to do that.
And who makes up the career pack is generally agreed upon before the games begin. Peter barely got in with them last year. So they're trying to get in with Finnick and Brutus, essentially. But he also says, make your own pack if you'd rather. Choose who you like. I'd suggest Chaff and Cedar, though Finnick's not to be ignored. Find someone to team up with who might be of some use to you. Remember, you're not in a ring full of trembling children anymore. These people are all experienced killers, no matter what shape they appear to be in. So Katniss thinks about who she could trust. Maybe Cedar. But she kind of doesn't want to make a pact with people only to have to maybe kill them later.
I mean, yeah, that's the downside of any alliance in the Hunger Games.
So only Brutus and Anabaria are in the training center at that point. Anabaria looks to be about 30, and all I can remember about her is that in hand-to-hand combat, she killed one tribute by ripping open his throat with her teeth.
Rick Grimes.
She became so famous for this act that after she was a victor, she had her teeth cosmetically altered so each one ends at a sharp point like a fang and is inlaid with gold. She has no shortage of admirers in the capital.
Now I hate this, but because I was right.
So, Katniss seems to think Anabaria wanted to do this.
I doubt it.
I mean, do you really want to be, like, going about your day and you've got sharp-ass teeth in your mouth?
How the fuck you gonna eat ice cream? That'd be cold as shit.
All of it's bad.
It's terrible. Get fillings.
Also, could you imagine you cut your mouth, like, every day? The canker sores alone.
Awful.
Terrible.
Oh, you stupid.
Capital.
Yeah, so bad. And then 10 o'clock, half of the tributes show up.
Yeah.
Only half have shown up.
So she mostly hangs out. Finnick's throwing tridents around with the dick swinging metaphorically. God, I feel bad for this guy, but I also hate him.
So Peeta goes off to chuck spears with Brutus and Chaff.
Not a bad idea.
Try to make friends with them.
And the other fucking... She hangs out with Wyrus and BT, which I can't take those names seriously. I'm sorry. Wyrus
is a funny...
Wyrus and BT.
BT.
Why did it...
The Electric District.
What's a Wyrus?
A woman who wires.
What's a BT? A British thermal?
A sound.
What is this?
A sound that wires make.
Wyrus and BT.
BT.
Water potato. What? I know.
Yeah, her name is Water Potato. So, she can't talk. Yeah, and so she practices her snares, and the snare trainer remembers her.
Oh, yeah. He's nice. He's cool.
And, yeah, she's, like, doing some fun knots, and then some fingers finish the knot for her.
Finnick makes a noose.
And it's, of course, fucking Finnick.
Doesn't he? He makes a noose.
But, yeah, so...
Someone makes a noose before she does.
Yeah. But, his whole thing was like, I made nets and stuff. So,
the snare guy is like, that's not a standard. I'm
Oh, yeah. And then he makes a noose and pretends to hang himself.
I wouldn't advise
for
that.
Katniss's amusement. Oh, and she goes over to the fire station and, like, rolls her eyes at Finnick.
Yeah, and Wirus...
I mean, he's clearly trying to, like, make friendship overtures.
Yes, but unfortunately, he can't stop hitting on her.
Well, maybe that's worked in the past.
I'm sure it has, but...
Okay, so the 2 tributes from District 3 are beside me, struggling to start a decent fire with matches. Both are small in stature with ashen skin and black hair. The woman, Wirus, is probably around my mother's age and speaks in a quiet, intelligent voice. But right away I notice she has a habit of dropping off her words in mid-sentence, as if she's forgotten you're there. I already love her. ADHD queen. BT,
the goat.
The man is older and somewhat fidgety. He wears glasses again. The neurodivergence of this group is stacking. He wears glasses but spends a lot of time looking under them. They're a little strange, but I'm pretty sure neither of them is going to try to make me uncomfortable by stripping naked. And they're from District 3.
It's good, it's good.
Maybe they can even confirm my suspicions of an uprising there. So PETA, at the same time, is hanging out with the knife throwers. District 6 is at the camouflage station. The male tribute from District 5 is vomiting wine on the sword fighting floor.
Rough.
Mood. If I were involved in this. And Finnick and the old woman from his district are using the archery station. Joanna Mason is naked again.
Just rubbing oil on her tits.
And oiling her skin down for a wrestling lesson.
Why you gotta be... All right.
Look. She's decided, you know what? Hiding's not going to work this time, so I might as well put it all out there.
You know what? It's not a bad strategy. I look forward to being really depressed when I figure out why she's doing this.
Yeah.
There's a person on Twitter who pinged me. They were like, hey, the first book was genuinely upsetting. Is the second book more or less upsetting? And I was like, both.
Yes.
Thanks for reading.
Oh, and Katniss basically just casually says, I guess a lot of orders from District 3 were getting backed up.
Oh, yeah. They get sneaky.
Beachy kind of looks at her under his glasses and goes, yes. Did you have any similar backups in coal production this year?
They get sneaky. Sneaky.
And Katniss kind of goes like...
A little bit,
no,
not really, you know.
Exactly.
And it's funny because, like, they do their best. She's like, yes, we would all have to be involved of a backup. It's small. And her metaphor kind of collapses, but it's good.
Oh, yeah, and Plutarch Havensby, the game maker, is watching and eating a turkey leg because he just wants to look like a villain, I suppose.
Well, but here's the thing. This is the dude with the fucking thing in his pocket. Maybe he does want to look like a villain. If I maligned Rue and PETA and then this guy turns out to be the worst, if this is like fantasy Goebbels, I regret everything I've ever said.
Yeah, but Wirus says, there by the corner of the table, you can just make it out. That's BT.
Yeah.
I'm experimenting.
You're doing
with
a great job.
There's a lot of people. A force field. They set one up between the game makers and us. I wonder what brought that on. Me, probably. Last year I shot an arrow at them during my private training session. I was provoked. So do all force fields have a spot like that?
Only the ones that
suck. Chink in the armor, as it were. Ideally, it would be invisible, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have a Chekhov's force field for her to shoot a thing at so she can punch President Snow in the face with an arrow in 350 pages or so.
Yeah. And PETA asks her how it's going, and she says, I like the District 3 victors,
of course
Wirus
you
and
do.
BT.
You can't not save that fucking cat.
And he goes, really? There's something of a joke to the others.
God damn it, Katniss. I love you.
Joanna's nicknamed them Nuts and Volts.
Yeah, you would.
I think she's nuts and he's volts. And I'm so stupid for thinking they might be useful because of something Joanna Mason said while she was oiling up her breasts for wrestling.
I don't want to laugh at it. It's really kind of funny, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not, but whatever. I'm going to listen back to this in 6 months and be like, Gus, you bastard.
Yeah. And she gets defensive. She tells him about the force field and that they saw a chink in the armor. And he's like, why are you mad? And he's like, is it because of Darius? And she says, Darius, the games, Haymitch making us team up with the others.
It all sucks. Everything sucks. Everything is terrible. I'm having such a good time. This is so much fun.
And Peeta says, I'm leaning toward Chaff and Cedar.
Jeff seems mostly okay, except he did do that thing that I think we skipped where he just kisses her on the face.
I accidentally skipped
it's
that.
All right.
It's a lot.
It's not a great thing to do, but you know, it's right up there with just tits out for elevators, I guess. I can't name the episode tits
She's
out
like,
for
well,
elevator.
while we're defying gravity. Oh, and Peeta promises that he won't let Chaff kiss her again.
It's good.
And Chaff is actually sober at lunch, so
There
she's
you go.
like,
Good
okay,
work.
it's not so bad.
Keep it up.
And he's kind of self-deprecating, and she likes that. But she's trying hard to be sociable. And then, of course, she bonds. She, tries to do the edible insect station with the District 8 tribute, Cecilia, who's got 3 kids at home. Devastating. And Woof, a really
Horrible.
old guy who's hard of hearing and doesn't seem to know what's going on since he keeps trying to stuff poisonous bugs in his mouth.
Well,
and Katniss is
maybe he-
let's be friends.
Maybe he does know what's going on. I don't know.
I mean, Cashmere and Gloss, the sister and brother from District 1, invite me over and we make hammocks for a while.
Cashmere and Gloss.
Mm-hmm.
Cashmere? That should be a District 8 name, shouldn't it?
Water potato.
But it's a clothing, it's a fabric.
Yeah, but District 1 does luxury goods.
Well, la-di-da. Oh, you can't make cashmere in District 8. We can only make it here in
They don't have the sheep?
the rich poor's district. What is it? It's
is
merino
cashmere?
wool, right? No, it's not. What
And
the fuck
why is this so
cashmere?
special? I know it's really soft.
Yeah, it's lovely.
What's cashmere made out of?
This wool, it's
But it's special.
cashmere goats, pashmina goats,
Okay, so
and
they got special
Allie,
goats.
some other breeds of goat.
So they're special goats, is what I'm hearing.
Okay, all right, cool. That's lovely stuff.
Um,
Oh, they're pretty goats.
so Cashmere and Gloss are polite but cool, and I spend the whole time thinking about how I killed both the tributes from their district, Glimmer and Marvel, last year,
Yeah.
and that they probably knew them and might even have been their mentors. So she doesn't really connect with them. I join Anobaria at the sword training and exchange a few comments, but it's clear neither of us wants to team up. Finnick appears again when I'm picking up fishing tips, but mostly just to introduce me to Mags, the elderly woman who's also from District 4. So he's like, okay, so you like old people and nerds? I got an old person.
Check it.
Look at the old.
Check it.
You love olds.
She is the bee's knees. Hers
Yeah.
are artificial.
That's pretty good. Between her district accent, prepare to feel sad, and her garbled speech,
I know.
possibly she's had a stroke.
I love Mags. I want only the best for Mags.
I can't make out more than 1 in 4 words.
God bless Mags. She's the best.
But I swear she can make a decent fish hook out of anything. A thorn, a
Could
wishbone,
come in
an
handy.
earring.
That could be good. Depending.
And after a while, she just tunes out the trainer and copies what Mags does.
Yeah, I
so
would.
Finnick's like, bond with the old.
See, here's the thing. She seems pretty cool after all. Would I bet on her to win? No. Would I bet on her to carry Katniss to the end and then be like, all right, good night? Maybe.
When I make a pretty good hook out of a bent nail and fasten it to some strands of my
that's
hair,
sad, but you know.
she gives me a toothless smile and an unintelligible
See,
comment
no teeth. I was right.
I think might
I
be
forgot.
praise.
I love her so much. She's the best.
So I guess
She's
they
my
don't
fave.
really give them great dentistry.
No.
It seems.
She has retractable guns instead of teeth. She just grins.
That's why they call her Mags.
Mags.
She's got lots of magazines in there.
Well, there you go.
And she remembers how she volunteered to replace the hysterical young woman in her district.
God bless her.
It could be because she thought she had any chance of winning. It couldn't be because she thought she had any chance of winning.
Respectfully, no.
She did it to save the girl, just like I volunteered last year to save Prim.
Yes.
And I decided I want her on my team. And Haymitch is like, come the fuck on.
You know what he says?
Oh, you stupid
Girl.
So dumb.
I love all of this.
Oh, and so she goes to do archery for a bit.
Oh, yeah, she just zones out. She does the Wheel of Time, Flame in the Void, and just, like, buries bullseye after bullseye.
Yeah, she buries them over and over again.
Haymitch, like, everybody wants you.
So, yeah, and then all the victors are watching her, and their faces show everything from envy to hatred to admiration. And Haymitch pounces on her. So at least half of the victors have instructed their mentors to request you as an ally. I know it can't be your sunny personality.
He's funny as fuck, man.
They're all so fucking
fuck.
funny. That's hilarious. And Peta says they saw her shoot. Actually, I saw her shoot for real for the first time. I'm about to put in a formal request myself. You're that good? So good that Brutus wants you?
Brutus wants her. Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense. He doesn't want to get shot in the fucking face by an arrow.
This is so funny. She goes, but I don't want Brutus. I want Mags in District 3. And he's like,
yeah.
Of course you do.
And Haymitch sighs and orders a bottle of wine.
And he goes, I'll tell everybody you're still making up your mind.
And she hangs out with everybody, and the Morphlings paint her, which is nice. Finnick helps her with Trident, very versatile task. And did we get straight into the talk about allies?
What is the secret to a trident? Can you throw a trident?
Ask Link. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what you could do with a trident. I just feel like it's just cool. Yeah, and she's having a hard time because she likes a lot of them.
Yeah, of course she does.
And then they get private sessions. They each get 15 minutes before the game makers to amaze them with their skills.
Ah, yes. Oh, okay. So everyone else goes in and does their thing. Peta goes in.
There's a lot of kidding about it at lunch, what we might do. Sing, dance, strip, tell jokes.
Joanna Mason.
Mags, who I can understand a little better now, decides she's just going to take a nap.
God, I fucking love her, man.
Fucking Mags!
What a fucking legend.
I don't know what I'm going to do. Shoot some arrows, I guess. Haymitch said to surprise them if we could, but I'm fresh out of ideas.
Well, you don't worry.
So she is scheduled to go last.
Yeah, Peta goes in.
And she has no idea what she's going to do, and neither does Peta. He says, I keep wishing I could bake a cake or something. Do some more camouflage, if the Morphlings have left me anything to work with.
It's fair.
They've been glued to that station since training started.
Yeah.
And she says, how are we going to kill these people, Peta?
It's sad, and I hate it. And it's sad, and it's true. You'll find a way.
And she says, I don't want them as allies.
You know.
Why did Haymitch want us to get to know them?
Because life is
It'll
pain.
make it so much harder than last time, except for Rue, maybe. But I guess I never really could have killed her anyway. She was just too much like Prim.
Maybe he's trying to foment some class consciousness. I don't know, man. It's possible.
I don't know.
So yeah, he goes in, does something. She's like, I gotta piss him off more than he does. Because she goes, okay, all right.
Hang on.
I'm sure this isn't what happened, by the way. I'm sure this isn't what Peta did.
Oh.
But
wait.
Go ahead.
So when I go in, I smell the sharp odor of cleaner and notice that one of the mats has been dragged to the center of the room. The mood is very different from last year's when the game makers were half drunk and distractedly picking at tidbits from the banquet table. They whisper among themselves, looking somewhat annoyed. What did Peta do?
All
Something
right.
to upset them?
I'm sure this isn't
This
what
is my
happened.
favorite thing.
I'm sure this isn't what happened.
This
But
made
the
me crack
first
up.
place my head went was, did Peta just walk in and take a shit on the floor? I'm sure he didn't. I'm sure it's not that. But my head just... That's, for some reason, that's where my mind went first. He was like, you want to see what I can do? I had Taco Bell.
You want to see that fish stew again?
I'll give you a poison berry. I'm sure that's not what happened. But for some reason, that was where my head went first. And so...
We call this back home mining for coal. This is what we call a greasy say.
Katniss is always my number one. Let me show you my number two. All right, how long can we... All right. I'm sure that's not what happened.
No. I covered District 12. And in order to just write the number 12, you need a number 1 and a number 2.
And a big old number 2. Good God. All right, I'm sure that's not what happened.
I'm like looking for more jokes. Katniss isn't the only one who can shoot arrows.
All right. I'm sure that's not what he did. All right, so then she goes up and she's like, how can I top dookieing a shooter on the floor?
Katniss isn't the only shooter.
And she goes, I know what I'll do. I'll do a little hate crime of my own.
Oh my God. That was funny as shit.
And it's very clever what she does. It's dark. It's extremely dark. But yeah, she ties a noose. And go ahead, Allie.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm still recovering.
Sorry.
Ugh. Suddenly I know what I'm going to do. Something that will blow anything, because she's trying to protect PETA.
Yeah.
Something that will blow anything PETA did right out of the water.
Well,
I go over to the knot tying station and get a length of rope. I start to manipulate it, but it's hard because I've never made this actual knot myself. I've only watched Finnick's clever fingers, and they moved so fast.
I don't want to know about Finnick's fingers.
After about 10 minutes, I come up with a respectable noose. I drag one of the target dummies out into the middle of the room and, using some chinning bars, hang it so it dangles by the neck. Tying its hands behind its back would be a nice touch, but I think I might be running out of time. I hurry over to the camouflage station where some of the other tributes, undoubtedly the morphlings, have made a colossal mess. But I find a partial container of blood-red berry juice that will serve my needs.
Ooh, that's thematically appropriate.
The flesh-colored fabric of the dummy's skin makes a good absorbent canvas. I carefully finger paint the words on its body, concealing them from view. Then I step away quickly to watch the reaction on the game makers' faces as they read the name on the dummy. Seneca Crane.
That is dark as shit, man. All right, Allie, how much do I get to read?
You get to read until the end of chapter 20.
Ooh, exciting.
Yes.
I can't wait. I bet
Right?
it's horrible.
Wait. Let me just double check. Yes. That's where I'll have you stop,
All right.
I think. Yeah.
I look forward to the suffering.
You should. It's terrible. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been Wheel Takes Podcast. If you want to keep in touch with us, we have all kinds of social media, and that information is available below. We also have a merch store. If you want to support us that way, you can also leave a rating and a review.
And a Patreon.
And we also have a Patreon, which is also a very appreciated way to support us in what we do. All right, anything else, Gus?
More like poop to am I right? Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye. You're so stupid.